So guy comes up to me on the internet, not in person, emails me, Cap, I got a book I'd like you to review. And book reviews have always been a crapshoot, to be perfectly honest. The first book review I did, I didn't even do the review. This was way back in the blog days. It's like, hey, I got a book. Would you like to read it? And I had the erroneous assumption that people were serious about. If you wrote a book, you were serious about writing a book. So I'm reading it, and it's all right, and it's meandering. It's about this guy's dating experience in his 20s, and I'm like 75% through the book, and I'm like, is this going anywhere? So I emailed him. I said, is this going anywhere? And he's like, oh no, and it's just about my experiences dating in my 20s. And I kind of got pissed. Yeah, but I should have listened. This is like 15 years ago, maybe even 17 years ago. And I should have paid more attention because it was my first insight to spurgy behavior, where there was I assumed functionality, intellectual honesty, and competence, capacity on the part of people. And it turned out to be wrong on the internet. It turned out to be wrong because then I started like, oh, I could use some artists. I need some artists. And I just get like, oh yeah, I'm an artist. And I get this shit piss, low grade, back when millennials were young, art where I couldn't even call it art. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Then you get a good artist. I'm going somewhere with this. Just shut the fuck up. Then you'd find an artist that has talent, whether it was someone with a great voice, I won't mention who, great artists, great turnaround time until they had a fucking meltdown. Became an emotional. I know they're now millennials, 3 millennials who were given gifts by God in terms of voice and artistic ability. They could have, by today, they all could have had $250,000 in assets or cash or whatever, and probably be around the 75 to 100,000, maybe even $125,000 per year in income, because they had that good of voices, and the work they did was always late. Like, hey, where is it? Where's the product? And then all of them just had emotional breakdowns. Like they went off to war and got shot up in Afghanistan. It was like, oh, I'm having trouble with my parents. Fuck off. And so when I hear, and then people would send me books to review, and that's why I charge a lot, because it takes a lot of time. A lot of time there's shit. Every once in a while, like, I got it right there. Let me get it. This guy deserves to be promoted. SP Daily, one of the first books I reviewed. Welcome to the Divide. Great book, a good book. He took it seriously. That's an example of one. But his new book, Petruvia 144. If you like intellectual science fiction, I can't recommend this guy enough. SP Daily. Just look him up on the internet. I just haven't had time to read this book. But Welcome to the Divide was awesome. Demon. God, what was that guy? He wrote the best fiction book I've ever read. But then there's some real shit that comes across my desk. So I'm skeptical. And the guy reaches out to me and says, hey, I'd like to review my book. I say, what's the title? Show me a link. Sends me a link. Here's the title. It's linked below. Riches from Bitches, Exploiting the She Economy for Profit by Cairo Copeland. I'm like, send it over. Send it the fuck over right now. And I asked him, and here's just some tips, okay? In the email, I didn't have to ask. He says, I got it in audio, because he knows I'm not going to sit down and read a fucking piece of paper. I have shit going on. So I got an audio. So you got on a drive that I could just download the MP3s, because a lot of you don't know this. Audible is a pain in the ass now. It's just a pain in the ass. You got to buy tokens. You can't go just buy the damn book. And all of a sudden I was signed up for Audible, like regular, like a subscription service. I said, I never signed up for that. Like, well, you signed up for it. I'm like, oh, no wonder I was getting like free books all the time. So I wanted to avoid that. So he had it on a drive. We're moving, we're hustling, cooking with gas, motherfuckers. I'm like, this guy gets it. This guy knows this shit. He's he's on the same level. And so I read slash listened to his book. And to summarize it in one word, it's Operation Evil, the book. If I were to write a book on how to profit and capitalize off of the she economy, which is the subtitle of his book, this would have been it. And I wasn't going to, so I was happy someone else did. I have a lot of ideas out there, a lot of ideas. I do not have the life expectancy to pursue all of them, nor necessarily the work ethic all that much anymore. I mean, don't worry, I got plenty of books, but there's going to be a lot left on the table in terms of ideas. And this guy did it. And not only did he do it, he did it good. He did it great. And so let me tell you about the book, what I like about it. There's very little I don't like about it. It's a really good book. It's very practical because he gives some great advice. But the book in general is precisely as it entails. The Rise of the She Economy was published. Women are changing their behaviors and choices in life. There's going to be consequences, economic consequences, due to these choices. A lot of it is that it will change the spending habits of Americans overall, but especially women in the largest growing demographic of spenders. That's why the report was originally written. And whereas the intention with Morgan Stanley and all the other companies that came out with that report was for manufacturers and producers and providers of goods and services, like, oh, hey, you might want to tailor it towards this. The approach Cairo Copeland, the author, takes is, okay, how can you as an investor capitalize on it? And there's two main parts to the book when it comes to capital. There's three parts overall, but two when it comes to capitalizing on it. So of the three parts, the first is the introduction, and he lays down the facts and the data in the research about how women aren't going to be marrying, the consequences of where spending changes that are going to result in that. And then he does a very good philosophical dissection of the ethics of what is essentially Operation Evil. If you're new to the channel, don't know what Operation Evil is, my Operation Evil was I looked at Oprah and how much money other companies and Oprah make off of essentially lying to women, among other people like the Democrats. Like they're wealthier than I am. And here I am trying to tell people not to invest in overpriced.com stocks and things like that. I said, man, I would have made so much more money if I just sold lies. If I tried to sell ice cream instead of broccoli. If I tried to sell heroin instead of exercise. And women are a disproportionately targeted group because I'm sorry, it's just been my experience. I run, 10 and a half years of asshole consulting. Men seek out harsh advice and truth. After enough failure, they'll seek out the truth. Women, not so much. They just seek more and more lies, more and more lies, more. There's some women who've searched out and to pretty good success. I got one happily committed to a guy. I've helped several young gals. I got the receipts who were like, I know I got several gals who met their husbands or significant others. And I have more than a handful of young ladies. It's great when I get emails from you girls and from the guys too. Hey, Cappy, I was a high school guy. I know a young gal became a computer science major. Another young gal, what was she? She's got a guy now and she works out. But it's a couple gals with financial, so they listen, but it's not the lion's share, not even close. A very like 1% of my clientele is women that actually listen to the advice. And I said, boy, what would happen if I just sold them lies and horse shit? And Cairo goes into that. He's like, well, who's guilty? The drug dealer or the drug addict? The drug dealer isn't putting it into the people's mouths. He's just a supplier. And I know that's kind of it's debatable in terms of its ethics. But he also points out, look, you could try to tell them hey, love and marriage is probably going to be the thing that makes you happiest. Having kids, stay at home wife, probably where you're going to shut up, you fascist Nazi pig fucking ass. All right, fine, done. And because of the backlash, I think he's like, let's all be drug dealers. How do we sell bad, not how do we sell bad shit to women, but how do we capitalize off of essentially women abandoning traditional roles, women pursuing materialism and ultimately vanity is what it is when you look at the fields and the sectors of the economy that he recommends looking into to invest in. So the first part is a discussion about the ethics and morality of doing this. And then the practicality, and I'm not giving away the book here or anything, but the practicality of they're going to do it anyway. You might as well, like I said, they're going to run off. They are going to run off this cliff anyway, and you might as well put like a hydroelectric dam to catch them all falling off this cliff and generating electricity. That water's going off the waterfall. You might as well generate some electricity. You're not going to stop it. Sell tickets to the train going off the broken bridge. Might as well make some money off of it because that's going to happen no matter what. And I'm inclined to agree with that presence. So with the morality out of the way, the remaining two parts of the book which are significant, is investing kind of in publicly traded companies, kind of more like sector analysis, industries that are going to capitalize from it. And then the second part is individual entrepreneurial endeavors that you could do on your own that would profit from these changing consumer patterns of future. I hate to say it, spinster women. It's the spinster economy. And again, I'm all for you girls choosing whatever you want. I mean, I'm not. The last thing I'd want to do is tell you what to do. I'm not a tyrant. I don't like telling other people. It's just a pain in the ass. Why would I want to manage people? If I want to be a tyrant, I'll be an employer. Um, but with girls abandoning marriage and children and girl bossing and all that, he goes through and analyzes it. But it's a little bit more of a in-depth and significant analysis than one might think. And he addresses that in kind of his methodology, where he's like, you can't just say, haha, cat food, because that's first level thinking. And by the way, he has a background in he was a financial advisor. He does have a background in investing. So everything he's talking about is right. You can't go for the obvious plays because if the average person can see it, then the money, the smart money, long before you ever got there, long before the commoners and the normies got there, has already invested and driven prices up. And a classic example would be antidepressants, right? Billionaires and millionaires have thrown billions of dollars into pharmaceutical companies already, fully availing themselves of the antidepressant use, which disproportionately middle-aged women consume. Shut the fuck up. I don't make the statistics. I'm not the one making the decisions. That's a fact. If you don't like facts, then go vote for the Democrats and go read some more of Oprah's horse shit. Right? But in the meantime, it is a fact. The older women get, the more antidepressants they use it more than men. However, that's long ago. The smart money made the move long ago, and there's very little room for profit or opportunity. What he advocates is going for like second or third order thinking or secondary and tertiary effects. Like, okay, well, who's supplying that? What other adjacent industries does that industry need to capitalize and grow on? Or where would the smart money not even think about going? And at no point does he nor am I in this review saying you should invest in these things. And he even talks about, he's like, look, here's some ideas. These are areas that are going to benefit from these trends and consumer changes, consumer choices of women. That doesn't mean they're a good deal. Because him being an analyst, and he got his series 65, 66. They're like, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. The prices could be way high. He's just saying these are the industries. Whether it's the time to buy is another issue. So he's not giving any advice, but he's just trying to train your eyes to say, okay, here's where the opportunity might exist to capitalize on this. And so, and I don't, here's why I will not give away the book, but things like the pharmaceutical industry, but what is ancillary to the pharmaceutical industry, because there's no profit in theory to be taken at the pharmaceutical investments. What are the other sectors of the economy that might benefit from this? And so he does a he's very creative and very insightful. I'm like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Well, yeah, he is right about that. So that's the first part of the investment part of the book. The second part is the individual entrepreneurial endeavors you could pursue. And this is where I really liked it. This is where I really enjoyed it, because I'm like, I have some ideas. I got some ideas. How do you sell ice cream to fat people? How do you, yeah, here's where you get to be the drug dealer, the personal drug dealer, the one who supplies the guy. How do you, how do you get their money by giving them what they want? And there was some very insightful, clever shit. Some stuff I predicted, and said, "Oh yeah, this is what you should do." I'm like, "Okay, there you go." And by the way, all this, both the public investing in like stocks or mutual funds or sector investing or individual investing, it's all backed up by the research that he had done on the sheet economy and spending patterns. But what I love the most about, I'm just going to give one investment idea. What I love the most about this book is that he does these things. He does several of them, not necessarily to capitalize off of women. Some of these business ideas are profitable unto themselves if done appropriately. They just happen to disproportionately benefit from spinster women. Um, but the one I will say he did, Harlequin romance writer. And I'm not spilling any beans. He admits that, yeah. And how do I know so much about this? Because I write Harlequin romance novels. I'm like, son of a bitch. No wonder I'm like, I was like, this book is good. It's written well. Oh, I forgot to mention another. If you're trying to choose, do I want paperback or audio? Go audio. Because I think he read it himself and he's got this voice. It's not the smoothest voice. It's not the best voice, but it's the voice that works for this book because he sounds like a film noir, guy noir, Sam Spade. It was Friday at 6:30 p.m. He doesn't sound like that. He doesn't like, hey, let me tell you something, Shay. It's not like that, but he sounds like he's narrating a film noir detective story. And it works. It works real good. He's got a voice that matches and the tone of the detective doing and conducting essentially economic and financial investment analysis. It works. It fucking works. But when I found out he was a Harlequin romance writer and the methodology by which he does, I'm like, holy shit, he's actually doing it. I haven't had, I've got to keep up with asshole consulting and this and hiking and enjoying life and fixing houses and all that. And this guy actually is doing Operation Evil. And so I was very impressed with that. But they're clever. They're good. And so, by the way, writing female filth porn for women, that sells. That, if you didn't know, it's got to be good. And he goes into how to do that. But I found that to be the most interesting of the book. Because and I would say maybe even the most practical, because let's say you're going to go and you're going to invest in the S&P 500, not the S&P 500. I guess what would we call it? The vanity index. I mean, it really was when he goes through the analysis of spending changing patterns, it ultimately is vanity because once again, if you remove other people from your life, the only thing that remains is you. So ultimately it's vain. I was like, is it a vanity index, a spinster index, whatever kind of invest in? Let's say you're investing in publicly traded firms or mutual funds. That you just call up your broker. I like this sector of the economy. Toss a quarter of my IRA annual contribution in this, a quarter in that, a quarter in this, a quarter in that. And now you've invested in the spinster economy. Okay. That doesn't give you something to do for a living. The second part of the book, not to say you're going to become a professional Harlequin romance writer, but the problem with investing in publicly traded sectors and firms is other money has already probably flown into it, Whereas you can generate your own income, arguably have your own living, make a living off of this, uh, which there's not money flooding into it. You just got to compete against other people. But I think there would be more of a profit opportunity, or at least an income opportunity for you. I mean, you could do both, obviously. I think that is probably the more beneficial of the two sections of the book, where here's a bunch of ideas that you can do that's going to benefit from this spending trend, changing pattern of behavior of women. Um, that there's going to be growth in these. I hate to call them fields, but there's going to be an increase in demand for this thing. There's going to be an increase in demand for that thing. One thing he didn't have in there, and I would say this is would be a tradesman, because let's just admit it, college graduates, you all don't. You're too stupid to fix your own shit. You're too dumb to do plumbing. You're too dumb to fix your car. That's gonna and that's men and women, because both men and women go to college, and very few men are, and no women are going into the trades. So that would be one that wasn't in there. But you know, Princess Buttercup, who graduates from Middlebury with her doctorate in finger up her butt studies, goes to the Finger Up Your Butt Institute in New York City, and because she knows how to do is shove her finger up her butt. She doesn't know how to fix her car or repair the plumbing. I think that would also be not even necessarily Operation Evil. It'll just be good comment. Position yourself. That wasn't in there, but there's a lot of other things where Miss Princess, thumb up her butt, has never had to do in her life, or really doesn't want to do it. And one of the great, and he's right. He's right about human nature. He's like, people are lazy and they don't want to work. That's it. And that you can use for anybody. Ozempic isn't just for women. But in several of these fields and several of these business ideas, he says the reason that exists is because they're too damn lazy to do it themselves. The reason that exists because they're too damn lazy to do it themselves. The reason that exists is because they're too damn lazy. The parents did it for them. And I got the impression that not only would this be very good for young, or maybe not young, bachelor and bachelorette, men and women who don't have family, like you just need a little side hustle, which could be a lot of people, regardless of age. But I'm just seeing a younger guy, younger gal, you want to make money, you got a little bit of time, you got internet access, there's some pretty good ideas here. A lot of good side hustle ideas. And, be careful about side hustles, because you'll be a schmuck like me with a hat and a stinky shirt because you just went hiking. Now you're an internet influencer. You don't know where side hustles. I'm not kidding. My ballroom dance classes ended up getting me here. I didn't take ballroom dance classes. Well, I probably might have been here. It's weird. It's weird how, don't be surprised if these hobby kind of funny, ha ha ha, I'm doing this thing this guy recommended. And all of a sudden you're making like, oh shit. Women really do want their plumbing done. So I think that's the true value of the book, is kind of more the entrepreneurial side of, how could you get a side business going that may even lead into a full-time business with not a lot of hard work. Oh, and that was the other group of people, immigrants. If you're here legally, fuck you if you're not here legally. If you're here legally, it seemed to me like, you look at immigrants, and let's be honest, they do shit Americans are too damn lazy to do themselves. Cleaning, housemates, things like that. There's a lot of kind of overlap. If you're an immigrant and you're like, okay, you're Vietnamese, right? You're a Vietnamese immigrant. Of course you have to do the nails. You can't not do the nails. That's what you have to do because it's Vietnamese American tradition. But what if you're like Frosty the Snowman, the claymation one, where you're an elf? The elf wants to become a dentist and all the elves shame him because he wants to become a dentist, but it's your passion to become. This would be something that you could say, okay, fine, mom, I'll work at the nail salon because heaven forbid we do anything different. I don't want to bring shame upon the family. But there's other things in here that, like, if you are, yeah, okay, mom and dad want me to go become a surgeon and a doctor while working at the nail salon and playing the violin and having no fun. Tell me if this sounds familiar. I got a buddy. I should show him that. Like, hey, wasn't this you? But there's, if you're, what? Yeah, there's some ideas in there. I mean, not, you don't have to be an immigrant. I'm just saying the domestics here in the United States, they're all hoodwinked. Go to college. You're going to save the planet. But for those with slightly more of an entrepreneurial spirit, both domestic and foreign, I think there's a lot of good ideas here that aren't good. You're not mortgaging the house, saving $100,000. These are just ideas you could pursue rather cheaply and on the side and make yourself a little bit of scratch. So I thought it was a very good book, a very practical book. I was laughing my ass off at a couple of these things. I was just like, "Oh my god, I can't." You have to listen to the book. Um, but there it is. Riches from Bitches: Exploiting the She Economy for Profit. Cairo Copeland. I have it linked below. You don't want to search it. Why don't I want to search? Because if you search it, you just do that, then I don't get a commission or a cut. If you click on the link below, I get a commission or a cut. I get like, 5% on a $15 book or whatever it is. I might make, 70 cents a book on this. That'll buy a couple gumballs. But yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. Very well written, very well narrated, and very practical as well. So I'd recommend getting that there. Let's go to the super chats and have ourselves a treat. Hand clogs, $2. Good for you, Cappy. What does your flag stand for? I don't have a flag. No, I take that back. Where the hell is? What's that? I think it's in the garage. I think I got my flag in the garage. Just old U.S. flag. That's all. Stands for the United States. I'm not much one. Like, oh, flags. I know this has a flag on here, but I got this at Goodwill in Ireland. Okay, I'm pro Ireland. Odds it's all $2. How do you sell ice cream to a diabetic? You just sell it. What do you mean? How you sell ice cream to a diabetic? Like, here you go. Here's some ice cream. The diabetic. How do you know they're diabetic? So, like you do anyone else, it's up to the diabetic whether do I do this, which is going to lessen and shorten my life. Look, this. Let me tell you a little bit more on the morality here. For the first, how would that make me? Yeah, almost a quarter century. For the majority of my adult career, let's put it that way, at the beginning, I tried to do what was right. I tried to do what was moral. I tried to do what was best for society. It not in a fake way because it profited me, but because like I believed in economics. I believe, well, we shouldn't have crashes. We could increase standards of living. There'd be less poor people, more rich people. That was my honest to God intent. And I would be paid as an analyst to help investors make more money, accurately assess risks. That was my job. Uh, Society rejected it. American society is so depraved. You wonder why I got to become a misanthrope. Americans are such lazy sacks of shit that even if you tell them this is the way to success, they will not only reject it if it requires any work, they will tell you to go fuck yourself and call you names, sometimes try to get you fired if it takes work. And when I have seen just how not only debased, lazy, and vitriolic Americans have become, but they'll attack you if you don't tell them what they want to hear. And then on top of you, the arrogance of popularity culture where we're totally for the thing that's ruining the country because it's popular. And you're a Nazi and we should like demonetize you and take your rights away if you don't believe what's popular. I am all for giving Americans what they want in spades because it's going to ruin them. Like, this is why I enjoy watching inflation. I don't buy a lot of shit. Inflation really doesn't affect me. I bought the majority of all the worldly shit that I have ever needed. Now, of course, yeah, I got to pay for groceries, and then it does have a gas has an effect on me. I got it. But I don't have kids. But I love watching inflation beat the shit out of these assholes. Fucking worthless vermin, just yeah, yeah, little petulant little tyrant children. And you're worried about selling ice cream to a diabetic when you got body positivity activists out there? You're worried about the morality of selling ice cream? What if it's not you, it's gonna be someone else, and the diabetic at the end of it look, humans are not these twigs in the river they all make themselves out to be. At the end of the day, it's up to the heroin addict to shoot up the heroin. It's up to the diabetic to eat the sugar. It's up to whatever. The single mom not to use birth control and try and get on more welfare. Everyone makes a choice at the end of the day. I am done with this responsibility of protecting stupid people from their stupid choices. Fuck you. You want to have 8 kids out of wedlock from 8 different baby daddies? Knock yourself out. But no, I'm not gonna. If anything, Operation Evil is like more of this shit. Oh yeah, big is beautiful, sweetheart. Yeah, go get your plus size lingerie. Go get your plus size lingerie. It will to charge you like 500% markup. You beautiful girl. Here's your doctorate in women's studies, and you can tell the world how much you don't need men. They'll just be 8 years of your life and $250,000. If you're worried about selling ice cream to diabetics, Wisdivision Productions, $5. The universe, the universe is talking to us right now. Playa. I should go watch that again. A G5 airplane and lots of money. You just gotta listen. Turns up T-Pain's apple bottom jeans and begins to dance today. One of the best roles of Tom Cruise ever. One of the best performances. Swinging down past your knees. Oh, I'd recommend it to women, but you don't understand humor. You don't like things that are funny. Nonstop Dre. Man, you want to know how you found a woman who like you got to marry her like that? I'd say marry. There's only one woman in the world you marry. That's a girl who says, I love Tropic Thunder. That's the only girl you marry. There should be a website, somebody not me do it, girlswholovetropicthunder.com. And you girls will have your choice of all the men in the world. Monthly subscription pacemakers for welfare users. Yes, we Operation Evil. Ken Rose, $1. Thank you, Ken. Dre, $2 sunglasses for blind people, height surgery for short. Well, I think blind people get because their eyes look weird, maybe, or they try to tell the society, no, this guy's blind. Give him a leeway or rob him. More modernly with the what's the blind contingent like? Where are you guys with the Democrat parties with all this pro crime? You guys got to be total, like easy marks and victim. I'm being serious about it too. Or is it more that, oh, we're disadvantaged, more free money from the Democrats? Yeah, but they like criminals. What do you want? Drew, $5. Hey, Cap, 2.5 months till I hit my 20 years and I get that pension. My new security job is awesome, and my mental health has improved substantially. Awesome. Yeah, Drew, you're about to hit the stage where you don't need the money, and it really is about mental enjoyment in life. Peace, serenity, and quiet, or whatever Coach Greg Adams says. Nonstop Dre, $2. Dark stoicism for the win. I know, isn't it great? Just watching it happen, man. Watching the movie. I know there's nothing showing on the movie theaters right now. I know Disney hasn't come out with anything. I know Hollywood is all like girl boss horse shit and just political propaganda crap. But damn, is the real world a good show? Wait for more suffering. More suffering. Come on. More suffering for the people who vote for it. Oh, did another company leave San Francisco? Oh, that's just too bad. That's just too bad. My truth, the king, $5. One of two. I know are resentful of boomers having ignored your astute warnings and conclusions, up and coming crashes and popping bubbles, housing crashes. Sanity equals wealth. Let's get where's the other one? All right, we'll come back to that truth. I am resentful. And I should be. Because they kind of cost us everything a little. Not everything, but most of it. By the way, other generations were signing up for those stupid ass loans they shouldn't have been signing up for. But I'm going to do the Tom Cruise dance watching this whole world collapse, or at least the United States, like spanking that ass. Gonna have hairy arms with my bald hat, pulling that chain out. I'll even wear this hat. Jorge asks $5. Guess I need to start my own spinster dating program all of a sudden and tell them how to get guys. Good luck with that, Jorge. Good luck. You, if girls wanted guys, they could get them at any moment. Go watch my video. What would it look like if women liked men? Watch that video. Now, if you got like the top 5% guys, like you had a stable of studs, maybe. Oh, hang on. Speaking of people not doing their job. That was a short one. Okay. I think things are improving. I might not have to get Starlink. Wait for me to get back to Vegas. Then we'll deal with what's it called? Cox communication, emphasis on Cox. All right, let me get back to the super chats here. Drew, Jorge, you could tell women how to get the guys. Short version, that ain't going to sell because there's work involved. It's like set down the food and hit the treadmill. Okay, fine. Glad we have this conversation. We should have a once every decade conversation with women. You gonna lose the weight and the attitude and hit the treadmill? Yeah. Okay, fine. We'll see you in 2037. Are you guys gonna lose the weight and hit the treadmill and be nice? Okay, we'll see you in 2047. Drew, $2, and then we'll make an insurance claim. Tropic Thunder. What would? And after a nice eulogy, we'll make an insurance claim. Oh, Les Grossman's my hero. Nonstop Dre, $2. Never seen Dre. You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna text Marcus Brown. Some with you black boys out there. No one is training you right on the movies you got to see. I guarantee you Marcus hasn't seen Tropic Thunder. You haven't seen Die Hard, and you haven't seen Tropic Thunder. Marcus hasn't seen Die Hard yet, despite me lamenting him for 15 years. You're right. He probably hasn't seen Tropic Thunder. Okay, have you seen Man on Fire? Have you seen Midnight Run? Bet you haven't seen it, Dre. Somebody... I can't. Okay, I don't control you guys. It's your loss if you don't see those movies. Mazatzal, $10. You're awesome, Captain Respect. By the way, have been a T1D for 60 years. Use glass syringes and metal needles. I had to sharpen before each and check. What's T1D? Is that heroin? Diabetes. Oh, okay. But if you've been that for 60 years, I'm assuming you have the genetic variety, right? Not the I'm a fat, lazy pig and can't set down the food variety. Had to sharpen before? Glass syringes and metal needles? Like back in the day, it was glass? Yeah, I'm not. Obviously, you all know in terms of responsibility, if you have the genetic diabetes, that's one thing. If you're we're going to cut your foot off if you don't stop eating so much. Fuck you people. Well, I'm glad you're around for it. I mean, hey, if it was 120 years ago, you'd be dead. Mazatzal, have you seen Die Hard and Midnight Run and Tropic Thunder? Because Dre and a bunch of his buddies are all going to die without seeing that. He'll be there on his deathbed. I never saw Tropic Thunder. Dre, $2. Peace, quiet, and freedom. Coach Greg Adams. My truth, 2 of 2. Here we go, $5. But we need to crowdfund an ETF venture capital company of forward-looking angel investors and philanthropize. Jesus Christ, look at you with the 50-cent words. Off their permanent mental state, Cappy for CEO. Well, the perfect mental state would play into that. In more layman's terms, it's having your cake and eating it too. Cairo mentions that in his book, and he mentions a couple things that are pretty I don't wanna ruin it, I don't wanna give away the ideas, but he has a perfect example where women get to have their cake and eat it too. Look, really let's say you hate reading and you're never gonna buy this book. Short for oh, here we go again. Here we go again. I swear to God. All right, internet's back. Uh, if you could sell well, you could sell anyone having their cake and eating it too, but women, they love cake that they can eat and have it too. The cake you can eat and have it too. If you could sell them that, which is not possible, that's why there's lies involved. Oh, yeah, you can vote for free shit with other people's money and have open borders and totally not have your life threatened. You could totally do that. You'll totally be happy. You could sell them that. Well, that's what all the Harlequin romance movies. Here's a truly average woman. Oh my God, she's being fought over by a billionaire astronaut and a trillionaire diamond miner. Remember the Tinder swindler? Look at that guy. How much money did he make? Cake and eat it too, ladies. Cake and eat it too. All right. Drew, $2. I gotta wait till I'm 55 to collect, but still, yeah. And now you just gotta, because you're not no young pup. What is that, 15 years? 10 years? You could just, and what else? What else do you need, man? Just do all your shopping at Goodwill. Look, video games are cheap now. You just go buy the old ones because the new ones are absolute horseshit. Get a good walk in every day like Arthur Schopenhauer. It's all good, man. It's all good. Jorge S, $5. But Cappy, I can teach them the power of manifestation and never settle for a man, all for a small fee of $700. He has some ideas like that. Not exactly that, but you're in the right ballpark. You're in the right ballpark. Oh, sure. Like astrology and manifestation and feminine energy just around the corner. We've talked about that. Yeah, I mean, we got the ingredients. You come up with whatever you want. But within that ingredient of manifestation due to abdication of responsibility or ownership of actions, if you can put a cherry on top, give it a coat of paint, give it a label that looks real good. Now you're talking money. Drew, $2, preferably before the end of the fiscal year. I know from Traffic Thunder. God damn it. Someone else is using the internet in South Dakota. All right. I'm just going to have to go through these. The internet is just okay. Maybe I am going to get Starlink. Dre, $2. I've seen Man on Fire. I can relate to the main character. Yes. Yeah. He was also a Marine and exhausted. I remember seeing that as a younger man. I was just like, oh, yeah, I could see being in that mental state. You all right, John? Generation Apollo, $2. Paint and sell modern art to rich women. There's another one. Also not in the book, but there's a perfect. I had an idea. I'll tell you guys this because I'm not going to. Well, better. I'm going to hold on to that one because it's so easy to do. It might actually make money. Wiz Division Productions, $5. That suppository bomb scene from Man on Fire lives rent free in my mind. Okay, I got all the time in the world. You don't, but I do. I'm afraid you're out of time. That is a good movie. It's just a great movie. What I like most about that, I know it's not the topic. What I like most about it is when the cartel goes after and kidnaps the girl. And I think, yeah, Greasy gets hit and the guy comes and helps him out. And he's like, oh my God, what happened, man? And if first things, how many did I get? Because you want to know he got more than like you got 7, John. 7. Good. And that's what I'd want to know. How many did I get? You got more than what they took you out with. All right, good. I got 7. All right, there you guys go. What the hell is link? Oh, yeah, link below is the book. Riches from Bitches. Cannot recommend it enough, especially if you're trying to figure out what to do in life. It's cheaper than my course in accounting, and that presumes you already know you want to become an accountant. But if you can be basically, if you could become a broker of lies to women, I don't know. Oprah makes more than the average accountant. I'm not saying we're all going to become the next Oprah. Not enough markets for Oprah, but damn, that woman made a lot of money. Democrats make a ton of money lying, selling lies to all the different people. Oh, we got two more. Dre, $2. Big Pharma needs to sell Happy Pill, Easy 10 Figs. Well, he talks about that, and that's obviously smart money's been on that a long time. How do you take that fact that women are using antidepressants way more than men? What are the ancillary? What okay? Think what would the behavior be? I don't want to give stuff away because the guy did spend the time to write this book, but it's like you're in the neighborhood, you're in the ballpark. You're not where you need to be in the ballpark, but you're in the ballpark. Mason, $5. What do you think the chances are of seeing an economic crisis or World War III break out before election day to keep Orange Man from winning the election? I don't know. I don't pay attention to the news, Mason. I really don't. I don't, obviously, I don't care for my own mental health, but Trump was not that great of a president. I mean, he's going to be better than, certainly probably would have been better than Hillary, but, the guy printed off just a shit ton of money and had UBI. And, are the Republicans better than the Democrats? Right. Are they your hope? No, they're not. And ultimately, there is no hope. And the reason why, Mason? It's because it's not the politician, it's the people. The people aren't. The problem isn't whatever dipshit is at the head of the Democrat or the Republican Party or Congress or Senate or president or vice president. It's not it. Your average American is a lazy piece of shit who doesn't want to work. That's it. That's all it is. You could have the best, you could have beloved, benevolent dictator, supreme for life, Cappy. And what I would have to do is actually become a tyrant and force people to do stuff they don't want to do. Now, that sounds like a pain in the ass. I don't want to do that. Why do that when reality will do it for me? Soon the food's going to run out, whether we got a dictator or not, whether we got communism or not, whether Trump is president or not. That's going to go up. You're going to keep printing off more money. Americans aren't going to work as much anymore. There's going to be less shit per unit of money being printed off. If people aren't going to be able to afford things, there might be a riot or two. I don't give a shit. You could put whoever you wanted up at the head and ain't going to stop. Americans need to suffer and pay a spectacular fucking price for the arrogance and laziness and sloth and say, oh shit, there's no food and we're going to die if we don't work. And until Americans suffer and get very familiar with the laws of nature in the real world without some big ass fucking money printing government welfare state getting in between to bail them out of every fucking mistake they make, until they get refamiliarize themselves with reality and how the real world works, it doesn't matter who you put up front. All you do with Republicans is maybe slow it down. Which is why you all should be watching Tropic Thunder and Die Hard before you die. There. All right. Link below. See you guys later. Toodles.